Hey drummers, Garey Williams is here. Welcome back. This is a Facebook Live here on Monday at 2:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for participating in the Drum Set Artistry Mastermind group. This is an awesome group where drummers can get together. In the past videos, I've been talking more about what I would refer to as the outer drummer, the techniques, the tutorials. I do have a YouTube channel called Drum Set Artistry, which has got over 150 different videos, some of which are from some of the books I have published and some others I've just done here in my studio. But now I want to focus a little bit more to the inner drummer. So here's a few questions that I'd like to ask you. Are you hiding behind the drums? Do you feel like you can't do anything else very well but play the drums? Perhaps you feel like you have to compete with your drumming in order to feel good about yourself or to be accepted by others, fit in perhaps. Have you become a perfectionist, where if you make any kind of mistake, it's ruined and you can't stand to make any mistakes because you have to be perfect? These are issues that I definitely have suffered with, and in the past it was really a problem for me. In fact, I started as a 5 of 6 kids, so it was a big family, lots of competition for attention, and parents could only give so much time. And I didn't get along with siblings, as some of you probably don't, with some of your big family, brothers and sisters, and was teased, picked on, didn't do well in school, just thought it was all like not very good. And so when I found the drums, all of a sudden there was something that happened. I actually found something that made me feel good about myself. It was almost like a little personal savior situation, because I just felt really crappy about a lot of stuff. I grew up in the canyon up outside of the small town, rode the school bus every day, and it's kind of at the end of the route, so I didn't have very many friends. The closest friends were like 3.5 miles down the road. So I spent a lot of time alone, not feeling very good, so I just would run and hide behind the drums. And in fact, I got really serious about my drums to try to make myself feel better as a person. And I kind of faked it. It was good when people would clap if I did a solo or had a good performance. And, it's always nice to be acknowledged. But shortly thereafter, I'd go home with myself and still be dealing with some of the same kinds of issues of, not really sure if I would ever be very good at this stuff. What are people thinking about me all the time? I mean, I went through all kinds of stuff. In fact, when I was in college, I actually developed an ulcer symptom. I was in a jazz band with another drummer who was very competitive and sort of saying stuff about me behind my back that wasn't true. And for about 1.5 years, I literally got a stomachache every single time I ate. And it took some particular kind of antacid that my grandmother told me about to help me get over this. And it was because I was so uptight. I didn't like to be judged. I didn't like to feel like, if I didn't do a performance well. In fact, I can remember at concerts thinking that if I made one mistake, it's ruined. The whole concert's ruined. So it was not a very good experience for me. But little by little, I started to shift things. I didn't do very well academically. In fact, I remember in my freshman year in high school, I got my first grade, and it was a D- almost on all my classes, except for band. Thank God for band. I got an A. I looked at that report card and said, Garey, you're not this stupid. I really kind of resisted school. My dad was a college professor. My sisters did well in school. I didn't. I was too busy playing my drums and not studying. But what I realized is that if I was so disciplined about my drumming that if I just took my drumming discipline and applied some of that to my schoolwork, I could turn it around. And it was a long process. I finally actually learned how to study. I knew how to practice, but I learned how to study and I brought my grades up, and I did very well after a period of time. So I'm just bringing these points up because in the process of becoming a better player, you can't separate the person with the player. I said that I like to say we are people first and players second. So some of the issues I had, like with tension, used to have a very stiff technique. I think a lot of it was up here. It was a lot of mental an emotional turmoil that I was dealing with, and just trying so hard to be excellent at everything so that I didn't make any mistakes. Just really felt like mistakes were a bad thing. It was okay in my family. I was raised with a father that was a sergeant in the military, so that might give you a taste of the kind of environment that I was dealing with. So there was rules, and if you broke the rules, it wouldn't always be very fun. So there was a lot of nervousness about making mistakes because I couldn't really make mistakes in my own household without getting yelled at. So I kind of projected that out to the rest of the world. There's a lot more to the journey that goes into learning how to cope with these things, but little by little things started shifting. I practiced a lot. I actually did pretty well in high school. But the main thing was having to cope with some of the inner feelings of not feeling good enough. And through my life, I've actually gone through quite a few of healing processes. I've joked with my clients. I said, I've read a lot of self-help books because I've needed a lot of help. And I certainly have studied lots of videos and stuff to try to give me a different mindset. And that's why part of this channel is I'm your drum set mindset coach, is because having worked through a lot of drumming issues, I've actually had to work through many more personal issues. And I've realized that in order for me to become a better player, I have to actually become more at peace with myself. And in fact, when I was out of college, I was studying some meditation. And after I started getting into the meditation, I think I was doing it for about 3 months. It just shifted everything in my playing. From then on, I actually could play way better because I was much more relaxed and calm. I learned about grounding and centering and some of these techniques that I am now sharing with some of my clients to help them develop their skills at how to practice and feel in the moment with the drums and just develop a calm and practical approach to reaching your drumming goals. So if any of this story connects with you and you would like some help working through some of those kinds of issues on your drumming journey to drumming greatness, don't hesitate to private message me. I'm here to be of assistance to you, and I wish you all the best with your drumming, and I will see you at the next Facebook Live on Thursday morning at 10:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, you guys keep practicing, hang in there, and be nice to yourself in this journey.